Hi friends, today we are going to understand the sphere of influence of a project manager. Project manager is not limited to his or her project team. There are a lot of other people whom the project manager interacts with for various reasons. Let's deep dive on this topic a little bit more. So you know the project team. Of course, the project manager interacts, works closely towards achieving the objectives of the project, and the project manager works with the project team. That is very evident and clear. Apart from that, who else does a project manager interact with? All these resources belong to different business units, or they report to different people, right? They may not be reporting it. Of course, it depends upon the organization, the way that the organization is set up also. Sometimes the resources directly report to the project manager, but it may not be the case for large projects. They may come from different teams. So their managers, whom they report to, the resource managers who should provide them, and if the contract extends, then whom to contact, the people, the resource managers responsible for those resources, the interaction happens with them as well to make sure of the sustainability of the resource until the project completion, as long as they are required. There will also be interactions with the portfolio managers, program managers, because we are a small bubble inside bigger bubbles, and the biggest bubble is the organization, right? So we need to liaise with the next level, the program manager, or the next level, the portfolio manager, to make sure of the alignment, to provide the inputs to them, take the inputs from them, to make sure that the impact or risks on the project work are contained, because there are changes happening around, right? So if there is any influence on the project, then that needs to be known. So it's always required to interact with the project managers outside also, and the program manager, portfolio manager. So we understand, the project managers understand what is happening and provide inputs to them on how our project could influence the whole, positively or negatively. Then the project manager would need to liaise with the sponsor. If there are any risks, issues, if there is any opinion or advice that has to be got from the sponsors, is there anything that the sponsor needs to be aware of? So interaction channel with sponsors is required. But it's not always easy to interact with the sponsors, because usually sponsors are the job group, highest job group, and they are not usually they may not find time to interact with a project manager, but it is required to have that channel set up. All these people that I talk about, some of them you may interact casually, some of them you may have to set up some meetings with them periodically. The period can be longer if that's a higher stakeholder, but there should be some channel of communication that has to be set up, either informally or formally, based on the kind of the resource. We have the steering committee meetings where sponsor is part of the meeting, right? So the steering committee can be considered as a forum where any issues or any advice can be sought, any issues can be discussed, and the best solution can be arrived at. And then the project manager has to interact with PMOs. PMOs, the project management office. Project management office supports the project manager, and to make sure that certain things happen within the project. And PMO is the person who glues together the program portfolio. If there are any activities that need to be propagated to the project, then we get to know from the PMOs. So PMOs plays a main role. PMOs support the project manager to achieve the project goals. Hence, there should be an interaction, periodic interaction with the PMO. You will know more about PMO in other videos. The other users or people that the project manager interacts with are the stakeholders, the other stakeholders like the suppliers, customers, end users. It's really necessary because ultimately whatever project or the product that we are developing are used by them or are going to benefit them in some way, right? So they need to know what is happening, what is coming up. There should be a proper communication channel set up in the form of a notification or a direct interaction. It could be to test the product that we are developing, or it could be to gather the requirements. We may not be able to communicate with the entire user community, but there should be some SMEs, the subject matter experts, whom we should be able to identify and interact with at the right points of time to make sure that the product that is being developed is beneficial to them. And the project manager also needs to know what's happening in the industry. What are the new technologies that are coming up? What is the how is the evolution happening? The knowledge has to be there, and not just the project related discipline, but discipline knowledge, but also the complete industry knowledge, how the legal implications are going to affect the project, or what are the new technologies that are coming up which are better than what we are using in the project, and how that would influence, etc. So overall there should be a level of understanding, and it becomes easier when we interact with more people to know what is happening in the industry. So always a project manager needs to keep himself or herself open to conversations and communication channels, so that the project doesn't see surprises and project reaches its goal within the stipulated time. Stakeholders are the reason why the project is, and are the reason why the project will succeed as well. This is the sphere of influence of the project manager, and something that we need to know, because it's not like a normal role just to focus on what we are doing, but a much bigger role. I hope it's all crisp and clear. Thank you.